Hi there, my name's Jane Anderson. I've spent the last 20 plus years working with leaders and business owners and people to help them really be able to get better at their communications in their businesses. So whether it's been marketing, so I've done things like LinkedIn strategy and done some social media strategy, as well as their communications internally, like things like intranet platforms and leadership capability. So things like personal branding, presentation skills, and helping leaders and people to really be able to become better communicators at what they do. And so I kind of work with leaders and work with marketing and sales teams kind of in those three spaces. So I'm essentially a strategic communications expert, and my absolute obsession is helping people to have more influence and presence in their roles and in their businesses. So what makes me a little bit different is I've written 7 books on the subject and various aspects of strategic communications. I've also been voted in the top 30 branding gurus globally, and I speak at conferences most weeks. So I'm a certified speaker, a certified coach, and I do lots of exec coaching. And I say to people, if they're trying to work out what's it like to work with you, I say to work with me is, I say I'm a little bit like a can opener, in that what I find when I'm working with people is that they've got all this really great stuff inside them and they've got great things to say and they're trying to have more influence. And so I say being like a can opener, in that I help them to get all that out and help them to be able to communicate really effectively. So, for example, some teams I've worked with, they've wanted to help their leaders get better at communicating on their intranet platforms. If they're using Workplace by Facebook or Yammer and things like that. Other groups I've worked with, we've done things like personal branding and helping leaders get really clear on their identity. Because once they're clear on their identity, then they can lead other people. Other things that have been things like presentation skills and team building and using platforms or tools to be able to create a really cohesive team and feel really connected so that they can go on to become high performing. And I've done also, like other teams I've worked with have really been focused on, and leaders I've worked with have been really focused on helping them to become high performing as an individual in terms of their productivity and performance. So I've created this program. It's called the Lighthouse Leadership Program. And it's really a culmination of all the pieces of work that I've done and put it into a program for people to be able to work with over a 6 or 12 month period. So the idea is that what I've found when I'm helping people is that to help them become more influential, they actually need to have more presence. And that presence is whether it's face-to-face or online. So I get both working for those leaders. Sometimes they need a better professional presence on LinkedIn because they're being approached by job seekers, and so we need to do some work on that. But they also need some personal productivity, they also need better presentation skills, and they also need to learn to become a little bit more cohesive with their team and get to know their team and their personalities a little bit more. So it's designed that you can really choose the modules that work best for you in your business. And what I found is that if you can have that flexibility and work on the program based on the results that you're trying to get, then I can really tailor and customize what you need. Because I don't know if you find this, but I find when I'm out working with leaders is that they're trying to just cope. Like a lot of them are Gen X leaders, so their struggle is that they're trying to juggle a lot of things. They've often got elderly parents and then sometimes children. Or if they're millennial leaders, they've got they're a younger group coming through and still trying to build that leadership capability. And then others that I work with, what I find the challenge that they say is that, I find it really hard to motivate people. I'm not really sure how to get the best out of my team. I'm not really sure who I am. I feel like I'm in overwhelm. I don't want to be noisy. I'd like to put, say, content or even video on our intranet platform, but I feel like I'm repeating myself and I don't know really what do I do to increase engagement and keep the vision clear. And yet when I'm working with like the HR teams. So if you're implementing something like this, you know, your real focus is trying to retain great talent, great people, and really be able to increase the engagement in the organization. And that's what this program is all about. By building the leadership capability of your leaders and using these absolutely crucial pillars of personal presence, catalyst communication that really drives change. Most people I work with are working in the change game at the moment and really trying to help people get through so much transformation. And then the third part is really about extraordinary engagement. And if we can get those three things right, you're going to get really powerful engagement in your organization. Your leaders are going to be able to really step into that pipeline to be ready for those more senior roles, and you're going to retain great people. You're going to have the business that's really set up for the future of work. So I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any questions, jump down below. You should see an option there that says to contact me. So I'd love to hear from you and chat with what you're trying to do and see if I can help. So I look forward to hearing from you.